Alright, quick little update as we're coming along here. Head's done. Here's what it turned out looking like. Got it all worked out where it fits on the cover. Stud goes in there. Like so. Had a little bit of a blowout right here. Not too bad. On the edge. I don't think I'm going to bother with it. And the stud and that hole right there is for the top cover. Stud. That thread's on the stud and that sits down in that other hole. So the top cover sits on it. It all fits in there pretty nicely. Got a couple places that are touching the cover, but I'm not gonna worry too much about that. But anyway, I was moving on to other things. I'm sitting here hacking away at this intake block. This is gonna take a while, but as you can see, we got a ways to go, all by hand. But anyway, I'll bring it back when I get this ground out and show it to you, and then we'll move on to some other stuff. We still got plenty of stuff to go yet. Getting down to the little small stuff now, though. Pretty much all the heavy machining and everything's done, so we got to get all the little stuff done now, and then hopefully hear this thing start here before too much longer. Alright, I'll bring you back in a bit. Alright, another little update. Got the handle and all put back on, as you see. I can start working on the throttle. I got the throttle linkage made. I had to weld a tab on the bottom and cut the original tab off the top. And I actually just used the pivot that would be for the cable, the original pivot that comes on the car, and I just stuck the linkage in the end of it. I got a little piece of plastic on the end of it just to tighten it up a little bit, but as you can see, it works. And it does clear the cover, not by much, but it does clear. You can see how tight it is. It's almost, if not touching it a little. But it clears. Now I got the top cover goes on when the head's on it. The head's not on it right now. This piece of wire here, I'll show you what it's for. I actually got this thing where all the covers will go back on it, just like they were. See the notches in the choke, and I cut the nuts off, the cover nuts. That's what originally held this on. I put them in the lathe and turned them down until they were flush, and then glued them in. It looks, when the covers are on it, it looks completely stock, and you see it. And that locks the cover on, so it looks just like any other one. But yeah, that's where we are right now. So I'm gonna keep on going, and I'll pop back back in when I get something else done. On the little piddly stuff now, on the small stuff on the list, so that stuff usually takes the longest, of course. But we're making it. We're getting there. We'll be back shortly. Okay, on to the next problem to face. That was the pulse. Hole drilled there. The base, which feeds from the case here. See the notch in it? Be that one right there. I may notch that case out just a little more because my hole's kind of close to the edge, but it probably would be fine as is. But it goes up and then out there. And it connects to here. Travels over to that hole. Goes back. And then it comes out right there. With that will be pressed into the block. It'll look kind of like this. So that angle nipple will come out here and then connect to the impulse on the carb, because this is an externally pulsed carb, so, and that should take care of that problem. I went ahead and matched the intake up to the cylinder too. That plastic always looks fuzzy in the videos, and it is a little, but it is really hard to grind this stuff. It does not want to take light passes off of it, or sand or anything like that, because this is oil impregnated, so it's self-lubricating, so it does not want to cooperate that good. It's about as good of a finish as I can get out of it. I mean, it's smooth. It's just not, it's not slick like this aluminum slicked up, but it'll be fine. That's pretty much what my 372 looks like. Same plastic on it. But yeah, that's that part. So I'm getting ready to put everything together, make gaskets for it, put it together, seal it all up like it's gonna be, and pressure test it. Dunk it in a tank of water. See if we got any leaks anywhere. If we got any leaks, we'll take care of it. That's the best way to check these. You can find little pinholes or anything like that, stuff that you might miss normally. But that's going to be the next thing I do, is get this thing all sealed up and put some pressure on it and dunk it in some water and see what happens. Hopefully you don't have any leaks. If we do, we'll just fix them and move on, and then put this all together. But I'll see you on the next one. This is what the linkage ended up looking like, 'cause it's like this in the saw. I made that ear there and put the cable pivot back in it and cut the original one off because it was hitting the linkage when it came down. I hadn't really cleaned it up much or anything, but it's kind of what it looks like. Another thing I'm going to do too is, before I put this I'm probably going to use this body just because it's already stripped, and I'm going to put it in the lathe and clean this outer cone up. See, it's just cast, just bare cast. The only place it's machined is in the Venturi. And it's got a big lip right here behind that first step. Let's see if I can show it to you. Yeah, see that big old ridge in there? So I'm going to put this in the lathe and probably reduce that angle a little bit, make it a little more tapered going in there, and then clean all the casting up. Go ahead and polish it out where it's shiny, and then I'll probably run this face of this across the flat plate too. You can see how just beat up it is. Do not want any air leaks on this saw. These race saws, it's real important when you're running nitro and stuff, because you have got to be able to meter the fuel consistently. Whenever you're turning 18 and 20,000 RPMs, an air leak is not good. You need to be able to meter the fuel really well. This is a Chinese carb. I'm gonna try it and see first. I got an OEM one on my 372, but I'm gonna put an OEM kit in this carb and set the pop off and everything on the needle with all OEM stuff, and I think this is gonna work out. This is actually a pretty nice carb by looking at it. The casting's pretty nice and everything, so we'll clean up these boogers and stuff on here and see what happens with that. I think this thing will work fine with a little bit of work and at a fraction of the cost of an OEM one. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at now. I'll try to video some of that too. This might turn into another an additional part on the video. This is stuff that's kind of important that I was wanting to hit on. If you're doing something like this, so it might be a little long-winded and a little longer video than I wanted, but I might just go ahead and break it up into two, and then and have one running after that, because I think it's already about long enough after this. Alright, you guys have a good one.